Hello, what's going on? It's Ben from Team 29295B. This is our passion project robot. So our whole idea is a six inch bot to be able to go under the net and descore that also can turn into an elevated shooter. So this guy's never actually seen the light of day or a competition before because it's just been going on in the background. Kind of like a thought experiment that if it works well enough, it will be our like provincials bot. Yeah, so it's a few things. We've got a 5 motor drive because we're copying the speed of light, and we'd love to use one motor for our arm because we do not have piston money. We are not a piston money team. But it goes pretty fast. We've got a pretty good ratio on it. Here's someone driving the robot around a little bit. Works pretty well. And the program shut off. Yeah, we've got a pretty good drive doing an OmniFlex Omni. This guy sticks out too much. We're doing this just so we can get our two 5.5 watt motors on. And we put it on here at first because we thought, well, we want to be as long as possible rather than tall because we have no space because we want to be a short little baby bot. But I actually think it might have been better if we started with these little guys raised up because we can't actually get over the middle barrier too well because this piece of metal always ends up hitting the ground because our bot's just quite long and there's no wheel back here. So I think we're going to probably put down like some rollers or something right here, or just like a little piece of polycarb or something. I don't know. We'll have to figure something out. Again, this is a work in progress robot for sure. But it's pretty cool. Next is our intake. So this is kind of a ground up thing too. We don't actually have intake sleds. And the reason for that is because we've got this kind of weird intake position where we're pretty much entirely flat, but the height off the ground is like just enough that we actually can totally intake tri-balls fine from here. And if we did have like intake sleds or something, it would actually just block off space that we could use to hit tri-balls. So this is like most teams have their intake like kind of raised on an angle, and then their sleds are also kind of on an angle. We're just going at it flat. Because we find this. Oh yeah, so the reason for this is because this actually fits right under the net. So we don't even have to like use a piston or anything because we don't got the piston money. We're 29295B. Our A team's taking all our pistons because they're better than us. But yeah. So I think I have a video up here actually. This guy, yeah. So we can just roll straight right along over. We intake just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not half bad. Yeah, so we have no banding on our intake to hold it one way or another right now. We might change that because, like, obviously it being able to do this really only helps for starting inside matches. Start inside the 18 by 18 by 18 rule. But it being able to do this doesn't help during the game when there's no balls that are I guess on the horizontal elevation bar. Yeah, I guess our next thing that I have in my Google Drive video is our kicker. So again, because this is a hypothetical bot, kicker's not ideal placement right now. Also, it's kind of we took it apart because we're making it stronger. On the video on my drive, you'll see it's got like, you know, the flex wheel thingies on it as a puncher, but the idea is it can fold flat to be under the nettable, and then when you raise the arm, this whole arm that raises up turns into a platform for the tri-balls to go on. So it'll go like boop 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 boop, and you'll put the tri-ball right where my very pale fist is, and then slip gear will slip it. We actually found someone. We have no idea how someone did this. We do not have like the equipment to do this, but someone figured out how to cut down a 12 tooth. So we just finished the job a little bit, and then put that in, because we want our, of course, we want our kicker to be as small as possible, because everything has to be as small as possible on this guy. We do not have a lot of luxury when it comes to space. Yeah, but I'll show you that working. This is like a really slow demo, so this is not the actual speed. This is just like we wanted to be able to test its shot, but it's pretty okay. And of course it can go faster than this. This is just this is just testing the shot. But yeah, not half bad. So I guess the idea during game would be that this raises up. You go over to the match load bar and you're able to do this, and then if a team tries to block you, you can hopefully just stoop down low and descore. Here's a little bit faster example. Not maybe a bit off in some of the placement, but it's not bad. Cool. Nah, Sean got the placement right. I'm just being silly. Yeah. Oh yeah. So one of the other silly things we're doing is we would love it if we could be a short bot that gets a C tier climb, because we think that'd be really fun. So because of the way that this bar folds, it doesn't really work. Hello. It doesn't really work to be like, you can't just quite like have standoffs here, like sticking down like that, like normal, because then when you fold down, you're gonna crush the pole between your elbows of your robot, and we don't want to do that. So we're actually making a little latch guy right here. There's no elastics on it right now. I have the video, of course, on Google Drive. My favorite little I don't know. But we actually use it to just go up to the pole and latch onto it, and then when we latch onto it, we can pull the arm down to climb from there. Oh yeah, so the latch also stays open like this during games so that we can pull back our kicker. So our kicker actually goes into the climb space when it's being pulled down by a slip gear. And then that's how we're able to have the space to do a latch like this, that when it interacts with the pole is able to flip up. So I'll show you that here. The spacing's not entirely great, so you're gonna hear, yeah, you have to push it a bit because we've got these little white little doodads right here that actually squeeze a bit too much in on the pole. We need to replace those just with regular 1/2-inch standoffs. But see that again. Focus in on that better, iPad. Yeah, so as you can see, when the pole enters this area, there's these little blue screws that are connected to a screw joint to these little yellow screws, and these little yellow screws, can you get a better angle? These little yellow screws act as a latch that holds this guy. It stops this guy from being able to complete its rotation going that way, going that way, going that way. So when these little blue screws are rustled a bit, it lifts up the little yellow screw back. I mean, you saw it before. This is a little yellow screw back there. And that allows it to close, which allows it to close on the pole and do that. It's great. It's great. Oh yeah, so final thing. Oh, you can see that wonderful gear meshing right there. That's sexy. Okay. Yeah, there's quite a few flaws with this robot right now. Again, it's been always worked on in the background. We're about to go into a 2-week period where we just are actually going to focus on it, because it'd be really cool if it could be done well. But yeah, so one of the flaws, besides this guy hurting us going over the middle bar, is that our center of gravity is not too great. Now, this was also when we only had one motor the intake and no motors anywhere else. So like the actual weighting of it is not going to be too great. I mean, it's going to be better than this. But as you can see, our center of gravity is pretty much at the front, but only when we're climbing, because the heavy part of our robot is that arm with that kicker and that latch, but it kind of doesn't count as much because it's the thing that's climbing, and instead the robot acts as a little weight on the end of that. So we're going to need to figure out that problem. Someone could figure out a better way to do that. That'd be great. The latch takes up quite a bit of, like, it's not, I don't know, yeah. I think there's definitely like 10 different elegant solutions that'd probably be better than this. But overall, that's our robot. That's Stu Car. Oh, I didn't even talk about this with our intake. We've got this banding here. This banding here is because, again, we actually kind of like not having sleds here, because it just gives us more room to directly intake tri-balls. So these bands actually force the tri-ball to sit higher on our robot, which forces the intake to be higher up, which means that because we're already starting our intake's already starting kind of high up on our robot, even though we're such a low bot, we actually can have the intake naturally, like passively with the tri-ball in it, be higher than the net. So we don't need intake sleds again, because we can just push up on the net like this, and it will naturally want to go, because it won't be below the net. Like when there's a tri-ball here, it's not below the net, it's above the net. And that's great. What else? Oh yeah, final thing, these little guys, just in case this little platform is like gets bumped or something, I don't know, in case it's not able to stay down all the way and we're trying to descore, and we're entering from like say we're entering from this side, we don't want to get our intake stuck on the net. So these little guys provide a nice little ramp that boosts our intake down, so it can kind of underneath the net. And yeah, it's kind of like reverse intake sleds. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, brain placement here, battery placement underneath the bot, held down with elastics really tightly though. We've got a little standoff in there to keep it nice and good. Keep our center of gravity pretty low, so that if we were able to cross the bar, which we're gonna again work on in these next 2 weeks along with our climb, then we would be able to do it pretty easily, because our whole center of gravity is so low. So yeah, theoretical bot, pretty cool. Everything's a little janky. Please don't bully me. Thank you very much. Anyways, I just wanted to show everyone this because we all really like it. After that, here's my Minecraft build. I'm building this in computer science. I'm really liking it. I've got these cool archways. You know, you can use like melon stems. It's like these funky little like sticky up bits. I'm a big fan. Yeah. Okay. Bye.